hello to my little friend!
Some of you maggot munchers aren't worth squeezing the trigger.
If what you just saw looked fun and entertaining and you'd like to replicate that, I'll show you the augments I used and you could copy it and tweak it as you like. There's pretty much only 3 augments that you really need. Just for context, if you never used augments before, they're in the weapon sections of zombies. If you did not research any of these, you're gonna have to research them. For example, I'm doing Vulture Aid right now. You can only research 1 perk at a time. The way this works, from my understanding, is that you just play the game with the perk enabled. So go buy Vulture's Aid, play the game, and eventually it'll level up. I already did this for the other perks, and the 3 perks that are must-haves in my opinion, if you're gonna do the game in general, but for melee especially, would be Quick Revive, Juggernog, and Melee Macchiato. And the equipment that you should use for these, for the Macchiato, it's a 50-50 split. I've seen people say they use melee attacks are slightly faster. I personally use Vampiric Extraction, where basically when you hit an enemy, you get a little bit of HP back. I just like it. I feel like it's worth it. Sometimes you take a little bit of damage and you get it back with this. It is what it is. You'll end up recharging your health anyway. But this is actually pretty good because there's been scenarios where my HP was low, and as I'm running away, there'll be like 1 or 2 straggler zombies, and you can kill them. You'll get a little bit of armor because you get armor with that Lion Sword. Not a lot, but a little bit, and it adds up. And you get a little bit HP, so I feel like that's better than swinging faster. You already swing pretty fast. And then this is probably the best thing to do, in my opinion, where it's basically allowing you to backpedal faster. You hit a zombie, and because of that, you can back up faster. The whole idea is to hit and backpedal, so I feel like this is a no-brainer. Again, you can do whatever you like, but this is what I did. From there, the next perk is Juggernog, and the most important thing here is just pretty much just have, Juggernog, have armor plates, have more damage mitigation. And then for this one, I've seen people do Turtle Shell, where if you get hit from the back, only the armor takes a hit and you don't. I've also seen reactive armor. I might actually try out reactive armor, and this might be good because all this probiotic does, I have it right now, it just increases your total health by 50. Not that much. Like, I kind of want to leave it because there has been times where I've been like 10 HP or 9 HP even, so it does actually matter for me. So I'll probably leave probiotic, but this reactive armor is also good because you're going to be getting hit by zombies a lot, and your armor is going to break, and as you keep hitting, you'll slowly regenerate your armor, but they'll keep breaking. So it's kind of like a ever process where you can hit those zombies. But I don't do that because I personally use also Elemental Pop. So if I'm ever in a horde and I'm stuck, I'll usually just use the Electric Cherry, which you reload and electrocutes everyone around you. And it's usually pretty good to get out of a sticky situation. That, or you'll use the field upgrade, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So Juggernog, must use. Quick Revive is also a must use because in general, it's just a must use. As you can see, there's different options and you can kind of pick and choose. I'd say the most important for these are Equivalent Exchange and Dying Wish. I use Dying Wish more than Equivalent Exchange. Equivalent Exchange basically says, hey, if you have Quick Revive while down, killing an enemy will revive you and remove Quick Revive. This can be done up to 3 times. Dying Wish, in my opinion, is better, where it says on lethal damage, become immune to all damage for 2 seconds. The only time you're really going to get screwed by this is if you're in a horde surrounded, and you basically have 2 seconds to figure out. You're either going to pop your field upgrade, you're going to use an Idolize or some type of Gobblegum to get out of there, or you're going to drop that. Choice is yours. The only good thing about going down is that the zombies walk away from you, and that's impossible. But the reason why Dying Wish is better is because if you have every perk in the game, and you get hit and you're about to get down and lose Quick Revive, you don't lose the other perks. So I use Dying Wish. You can only do it 3 times per game. And then what I do is the Slow Death, which is increases your time in Last Stand. I mean, honestly, the minor is actually more important than the major. I didn't even really think about this, but all this other stuff is like for your teammates more than yourself. So, I mean, it's up to you. I have increased your time in Last Stand. This is kind of whatever. I play solo sometimes, so that for solo, that probably doesn't matter, but it's up to you. But honestly, the most important thing right here is Retribution. Oh, whoops, not that. The most important thing here is Quick Revive is Dying Wish. Now, that pretty much covers the must-have perks, Quick Revive, Juggernog, and Melee Macchiato. You know, other perks, if they're nice to have, you can get speed cola. You reload your armor faster. Oh, another thing. Oh, this is actually a big tip. This is a big tip I'm about to give you. Aside from augments, you want to go into, if you're on PC or if you're on console, go to controller. And what you want to do is you actually want to enable partial armor refill, and that's under combat. So when you go to armor plate behavior, you do apply one as opposed to apply all. I think this is better in general because you have more control about the armor plates you go in and apply. But I think this is really good because the Lion Sword already adds partial armor on hit. So you're not going to be doing as many applications. So if you have the max armor, by the way, if you don't know this, armor level 1, armor level 2, and armor level 3 have different levels of durability. So even if you're going to have one plate of armor level 3, that's better than armor level 1. So it makes sense to like apply just one armor plate, and from there you just gain and replenish over time hitting with the melee. That's my own opinion. Also, Vulture Aid is pretty good. Vulture Aid, all it does is increase the variety of loot dropped by enemies. You get more armor plates from this. You get more like healing things. You get more essence. It's not a must-have, but if you got the money and want to blow it, go ahead. Deadshot Daiquiri is not really needed. This one I use every game, and I think it's very useful just because of the electric cherry. All it is that when you reload your gun, and obviously this is a melee weapon that you're using with the Lion Sword, you're not going to reload it, but you could swap to your gun. I have Speed Cola. One of the augments is that you swap weapons faster. Swap to your gun, pop a shot off, or just have like one in the chamber or whatever the case is where you can reload. You get the electric cherry. It electric shocks the horde in front of you. It gives you a little bit of wiggle room, gives you a chance to get out of there. Other than that, up to you. Do whatever you want. The must-haves are Melee Macchiato, Juggernaut, Quick Revive. Everything else is just what you want. Now, when it comes to field upgrades, I think Frenzy Guard is the best. You could do things like Dark Flare, not Dark Flare, Aether Shroud, where you basically become invisible and the zombies can't hit you. It's okay, but technically, allegedly, according to Reddit, the stronger your melee weapon is, the stronger this Frenzy Guard is. So, for example, mine has Retribution. This is trigger an explosion on activation. Normal enemies that melee you are damaged and knocked down. The damage they take supposedly is stronger based on your melee weapon. So if you have a pack-a-punch knife, they actually hit you and they take more damage. So you have the sword, which is one-shotting until like level 40. So they're going to hit you and actually take a bit of damage. So I feel like that's the best. As you can see here, use ammo from stock. No one cares. You're not going to be using ammo. Allies can repair armor from kills while near you. That's whatever. For you, you're already going to be getting a little bit of shield back with your Lion Sword on hit and kill. And then when you pop this is basically to not die. This will basically maximize your armor, and then at the same time as you kill, you're going to get a little bit of armor replenishment from the sword, and you're also going to get armor replenishment from the perk. Other than that, all I did here was increase Frenzy's guard duration, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is up to you. It's pretty much those 3 things, or 4 things if you count the setting. Melee Macchiato, Juggernog, Quick Revive with the augments. On top of that, make sure you have the Frenzied Guard with the augments. Obviously, these are all separately researched. And with all that being said, you're pretty much good to go. Pretty much the same setup I have. You can do whatever you want to do. I think must-haves here are the Melee Macchiato, Juggernog. You can kind of play around with the minor and major augment, but choice is yours. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool.